Welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking to you about getting the hell out of toxic relationships. Are you stuck in a relationship, especially now during this coronavirus time where we have directives for social distancing and social isolation? Are you away from that individual or those individuals from whom you receive the toxicity? Well, count yourself as being blessed and having an opportunity to strategize so that you can remove yourself from toxic relationships. Maybe this is a break for you because you're not in contact with those individuals as often as you had been. If you have an intimate partner at home who is in fact the source of much of your toxicity experience, it may be a bit tougher, but I encourage you to go through the slides, look at this presentation, and glean from it whatever you can so that you can advance your life in ways that make you happy. I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, please like and subscribe, and if you want to be aware of more content when it's being posted, hit the bell button. Without further ado, let's get started. So during social isolation, you've got all the time to yourself. Take time to reflect. Look at your life as a child. Do you remember what dreams and visions you had? As a teenager or youth, what were those like? Were you able to dream dreams? And now, as a mature person or an adult, what do you see? Have you accomplished some of those dreams? Maybe you've accomplished some of them and maybe some have fallen apart. Are you where you want to be? The people that are in your life, are those people who you would have chosen to put in your life? As a child, as a teenager, and if you did, are those the people who should be in your life? Are they encouraging? Are they supportive? What about your romantic relationship? Do you have holes in your heart? Are you making a greater sacrifice than your partner? Are you sacrificing? What is the exchange that's going on for that person's love or for your love? Friends, are they there? Are they genuine? Can you be yourself? Can you ask harsh questions? Can you give harsh advice? Can you still be friends after doing so? Take a moment to retrace your journey. Do you remember as a little kid who you wanted to be? Many little kids wanted to be a firefighter, nurse, a doctor. Many of them wanted to imitate their parents, but then there were others who didn't. Many who didn't have visions. Many who had so many issues happening in their households that they weren't able to dream dreams. Where were you during this time? What about your teenage years? Were there lingering or existing interventions or circumstances that came in and didn't seem like they were going anywhere because someone or something was missing? Did you have to live with difficulties, or did you enjoy your teenage years and they were pretty unremarkable in terms of challenges? And then what happened? How did that transfer into your current situation? When you look at your life, was this your vision for your life? Is this where you want to be? Was this your idea to be here? Is this a safe and happy place for you? Why are you here? Do you want to leave this place? How is this helping you? Is it hurting you? Are you happy? Do you want to be happy? This slide could be a little intensive, so if you have childhood trauma that you haven't gotten help for, you may not want to start asking the questions in this slide. You may want to skip over it, or you may want to skip the childhood section or the teenage section Totally. So, what we are looking at is during your childhood, if you could look back, what would that moment look like? Would you want to start over? And if that's the case, and you went on to your teenage years, even during your early childhood years, were you faced with dilemmas or circumstances that were such huge barriers you couldn't get through, like poverty, racism, sexism, ageism, classism? Um, did you have abilities or limited abilities that you were discriminated against because of those? Family disturbances, abuse in your family, addictions, mental health issues, um, new people coming into your life, new activities. Were you being uprooted, relocated? Was there fear, bullying, threats? And how does that translate now? Are you insecure? Are you strong? Do you cling to false security? Or do you deceive yourself into accepting something that isn't real or being someone that you're not? What about social influences? Peer pressure? Do you have social voids that you have a hard time filling? So you're sort of sacrificing yourself to fill those voids. Are you jealous, envious? Do you feel hate? Is there toxicity around you in the workplace, with your peers, in your domestic relationship, with your children if you have children? What is happening? Do you experience confusion, self-doubt? Are you always comparing yourself? Are you inadequate? Is that how you see yourself? Do you use trickery, deception, and people-pleasing to get by? What about cognitive dissonance? Are you trying to reconcile two things that really don't go together? Are you feeling a lot of pain, hurt, unhappiness? Are you prepared to change the pain, the hurt, the unhappiness, living the lies into something beautiful? Well, of course, with the previous slide, we're looking at what our childhood and teenage life got us to, where it got us to. Now you got to decide, well, how am I feeling? When I really reflect on where I am in this relationship or my relationship with my work co-workers, my colleagues, with my neighbors, with my friends, with family members, with my loved partner, my intimate partner. What am I feeling? Am I angered? Do I feel injured? Am I sad? Do I feel like I want to give up? I'm broken? What about frustration and disappointment? Are you disappointed in yourself, frustrated with yourself or with someone else? Are you jealous? Do you feel envy? Do you feel inadequacy? Do you feel cheated? Do you feel lost? How about powerless? You don't feel like you can change anything. What about hopeless? You don't feel like there's any point because nothing seems to change. Do you feel needy? That person needs to be in your life. And are you codependent? Now that we know how we feel, why don't we look at the level of satisfaction we feel in the situation? Is it low, medium, or high? If it's low, then you'll probably often feel sad when you think about your life. You'll often think of ways to get out of the situation, and you'll often think that you want to be happy. So now we want to look at doing some root cause analysis, finding the root cause of the problem. One caveat here is that if you have trauma in your childhood years, you may want to speak with a therapist and not continue with this part of the exercise, because for the root cause, you are going to have to ask yourself questions. We say the 5 whys, but really it could be 20 whys. It keep going until you get to the core to find out why you are in the situation you're in and why perhaps you have a pattern of being in those situations or why you choose to stay in the situation. The hope is that you will get to the point where you truly understand where the issues lie. It's not usually on the surface. And if you can find that core issue and accept it, perhaps you can find a real meaningful way to take it and change it into something positive for you so that you aren't repeating negative behaviors that harm you. You can ask yourself, why am I at this particular point? Why do I feel this specific way? And your answer from there, you're going to ask, well, why? And why? And why? Until you get to the point where there are no more answers. And that's your core. Once you understand what your core issues are, you do your root cause analysis, and you may not feel good at that time. To be honest, you may feel, well, geez, it really isn't my boyfriend or my husband or my kids or my neighbors or my friends. It's really me. Well, if that's the case, own it. And what that means is when you own it, you're now saying, the problem lies with me. I need to now find that solution to help me get past this so I can be the best I can be and the happiest that I can be. So determine what you need. And by identifying what you need, you can ask yourself, you can set some markers for your happiness so you know when you're happy and what makes you happy. Yes, how do I know when I am truly happy? When I am happy, I feel, how do I feel? How do I look? What do I do? And who do I hang out with? How do you deserve to feel and live? Ask yourself. Look at this image of the little red guy who is so unhappy amid all the happy smiley faces. Is that you? Is that where you want to be? I'll tell you something, that is a very stressful place to be. You want to be one of the happy guys, but you don't want to be one of the conforming guys. You want to be able to know when things work for you and when they don't, and you don't have to compromise your standards or your happiness to be in that crowd. So now you know how to identify when you're happy because you have evidence markers. When I'm happy, I feel a certain way, I look a certain way, I do a certain thing, I hang out with certain people. So now you are going to determine what it takes to get to those markers. Determine what you need to be happy. What are the steps that get you there? Happiness is something that is attainable. People can reach that goal. And if you aren't out there hurting people and you're working on helping yourself and helping others, believe me, you deserve to be happy. When someone comes into your space and takes away that happiness, you need to write down what that feels like and remind yourself why you deserve to be happy so that in the future you can look back at those things to help yourself stay out of relationships that are toxic for you. Next, you need to make a sound and safe plan to get out of a toxic relationship. If it is an intimate partner relationship, you need to be very careful. You might have to talk to some experts, but make a plan and keep it safe. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You're bigger than this. See where you can get to and never stop moving forward. Bottom line is, you need to take back your life. You can start doing self-development right at home. There are many books, there are audiobooks online courses, many are free, self-development courses, career development courses, virtual counseling, self-advocacy courses. Start planning maybe a change in career or job, self-employment. Lots of opportunities are online right now. Learn new skill, relocate, start a new career, rebrand yourself. Be bigger, be stronger, be happier. So if you're out there looking at how you can grow and add positivity to this world and someone is trying to undermine that or a bunch of people are trying to undermine that, know that you can break through. Know that you can be happy. Grow strong. Focus on what really matters and you do matter. Be truly happy. And when you get there, help others. Teach them how to overcome like you did.